Illidan, we've done all we can.
Every choice, every sacrifice has led me to this moment. To face him once again.
You are not coming with us.
The hunter is nothing without the hunt. Did you not see this fate, prophet?
Fate. Our survival was never in fate's hands. Light be with you, Illidan Stormrage.
Illidan readied his fearsome warglaives, their edges shimmering with latent power. Above him, a luminous beam descended, a conduit of potent titan magic. Illidan's gaze, unwavering and intense, fixed upon his most formidable adversary. This confrontation was the culmination of a lifelong quest. Ever since his liberation during the Third War, Illidan had been the hunter relentlessly pursuing the Burning Legion. Sargeras, his ultimate prey, now lay helpless before him. As Illidan stood on the brink of his destiny, a time vortex, swirling with chaotic energy, tore open the fabric of reality between him and Sargeras. Caught off guard, Illidan was sucked into its maelstrom, the force of its pull wrenching his warglaives from his grasp, consuming them in its voracious maw. Hurled through the portal, his demonic wings singed and flesh seared by the temporal storm, Illidan's cry was one of fury and anguish, not from pain, but from the bitter realization that his destined confrontation had been cruelly snatched away. Ejected from the tumultuous vortex, Illidan crash-landed amidst a burst of magical energy. Weakened, yet resolute, he rose, his hooves clashing against the cobblestones beneath. Lifting his head, a wave of recognition washed over him. Before him stood Zin Az-Shari, the heart of the ancient Night Elf Empire, a city from over 10,000 years past. This vision, or trick of the Well of Eternity, the most potent source of arcane power Azeroth had ever known, stretched across the horizon, its vast magical energies spiraling, but an ominous green glow tainted its splendor. The fell magic, recognizable to Illidan's unique sight, revealed the dark truth. He was amidst the war of the ancients. A voice, resonant with the echoes of a long-lost past, called out to him.
You have arrived. Queen Ashara awaits your presence.
The speaker, a night elf, mistook Illidan, in his demonic form, for an agent of Sargeras and a warrior of the dreaded Burning Legion.
Xavius.
Illidan hissed. Xavius, the main counselor to Queen Ashara, believed Illidan to be Hakkar, a formidable warrior of the Legion. Escorted by Xavius and the high-born elven guards, Illidan approached the Eternal Palace. To these elves, Illidan was unrecognizable. His transformation, combined with the twisting of his soul, concealed his old identity.
So it is you, Lord Sargeras' first, to be graced by the glory of your new queen?
Injured and bereft of his warglaives, Illidan's capacity for battle was significantly diminished, yet he cunningly played the role of Hakkar the Houndmaster, deceiving Queen Ashara and those around him, an empire unaware of its impending doom. In the heart of Zin Az-Shari, under the guise of Hakkar the Houndmaster, Illidan earned the Highborn's trust. Tasked with fortifying the Well of Eternity's demon portal, he cleverly utilized his mastery of both fel and arcane magic to weave a concealed trap within the spell, a subtle sabotage awaiting activation. To the unsuspecting eyes of Xavius and the Highborn, Illidan appeared dutiful, yet he harbored his own secret intentions. Under the pretense of a directive from the Burning Legion to hunt members of the Night Elf Resistance, Illidan excused himself from the palace. This ruse afforded him the chance to prepare for the impending arrival of the true Hakkar. Though weaponless, Illidan's own formidable powers rendered him a worthy adversary for the Houndmaster. As Hakkar materialized through the portal, he was greeted not by loyal followers, but by a grotesque sight of Highborn mercilessly slaughtered by Illidan. Hakkar's demonic laughter, a mixture of amusement and unease, filled the air. In that moment of distraction, Illidan, using the might of his demonic wings, launched a surprise attack. His fel-powered eye-beams pierced Hakkar's skull, a fatal burst of energy obliterating the demon's skull instantly. Illidan's next endeavor was to seek out beings of immense power, knowing well that more formidable foes of the Legion were soon to arrive. Along his path, he encountered fel hounds summoned by Hakkar, which he dispatched with ease, their souls fueling his strength and aiding his recovery. His journey led him through ancient forests towards the abode of the dragon Aspects, his mission to implore their intervention in the escalating conflict. Despite their likely distrust of his fel-corrupted presence, Illidan hoped to warn them of the looming peril and convince them to act. As he neared the icy peaks, believed to be the dragon's domain, his progress was suddenly halted. Magical vines and roots imbued with potent nature magic ensnared him. Illidan unleashed his fel eye-beams and demonic claws, tearing through the enchanted flora in a desperate struggle for freedom. Entangled in the living bonds of nature, Illidan listened as a familiar voice resonated through the forest. Cenarius, the demigod and lord of the forest, emerged, addressing Illidan with disdain.
Demon, you shall not desecrate these lands with your wickedness,
he declared, summoning Trents to reinforce the magical hold. Illidan, struggling against the tightening grasp, attempted to reason with the forest lord.
Wait, Cenarius, there's more to this than you know.
You know of me, demon? Then you know my power.
Cenarius retorted as the roots constricted further around Illidan's throat. Desperately, Illidan revealed his true identity.
I am Illidan Stormrage. I have journeyed here from 10,000 years in the future to avert the end of this world.
Recognition flickered in Cenarius's eyes, loosening his magical grip, though not entirely releasing his captive.
How have you fallen so, Illidan? What curse has befallen you? You cannot be the Illidan Stormrage I know.
Illidan, recalling the teachings of Cenarius, quoted him.
You once said, to walk this path requires sacrifice. Something I am yet to understand.
Cenarius, taken aback, further relaxed his hold, allowing Illidan to fall free.
Illidan Stormrage, is it indeed you?
I have sacrificed everything to protect this world. The Legion's end is all I seek.
As Cenarius allowed Illidan to rise, Illidan spoke of the demons assailing the elven villages and the forest itself.
The onslaught has already begun, and time wanes. We must unite with mighty allies to thwart the use of the Well of Eternity as a gateway for the Legion. I go now to seek the dragons for their aid.
Cenarius interjected, revealing that the dragon's lairs lay far beyond Illidan's reach, the sightings merely patrols in the distant skies. Acknowledging this, Illidan disclosed his secret, a magical snare laid within the portal spell, requiring only his touch to activate. But he would need support to distract the highborn sorcerers lest they sense his scheme. At Cenarius' behest, Illidan accompanied him back towards Zin Az-Shari. Commanding nature itself, Cenarius cleared a path through the dense foliage, enabling swift passage. They journeyed until they reached a familiar grove, one laden with memories and significance for Illidan. It was Valshara, not far from Illidan and Malfurion's birthplace in Lorlathil. In this ancient grove, Illidan faced a sight that staggered even his spirit. His younger self, alongside Malfurion and Tyrande, appeared before them. The trio, a vision of days long past, seemed bewildered by Illidan's daunting presence. Cenarius, with the wisdom of the ancients, explained the extraordinary circumstances. A version of Illidan Stormrage from a distant future, burdened with a dire mission against Queen Az-Shar-Ra and the Burning Legion. Despite Cenarius' assurances of Illidan's true intentions, the younger Illidan recoiled in abhorrence, unable to reconcile the transformation before him.
I would never become such a fiend,
declared the younger Illidan, his voice laced with revulsion. The elder Illidan, his gaze steely, responded with a hint of scorn.
I have sacrificed everything to save this world, time and again. Perhaps my path spares you the need to make such grave choices of your own.
Illidan understood that his sacrifices were vital. Faltering now would render them all in vain. Yet he harbored hope for his younger self, a chance for a different destiny. Cenarius, seizing control of the moment, laid out their strategy. The younger twins and Tyrande would infiltrate the palace in unity, while Illidan would make his way to the summoning ritual alone. The trio's coordinated effort aimed to create the necessary diversion, allowing Illidan to collapse the portal spell, a decisive strike to thwart the invasion and alter the course of their world's fate. Illidan made his way towards the Eternal Palace, the lesser demons proving no challenge for him as he journeyed. Upon entering the palace, Illidan found the highborn sorcerers, their forms withered and gaunt from their ceaseless magical exertions. Blending in, he pretended to aid them in channeling the portal spell, while secretly draining their life essence and mana, hastening their demise and necessitating their continual replacement. His plan was to collapse the spell from within at the opportune moment. Meanwhile, the twin brothers and Tyrande executed their part of the plan, infiltrating the palace and creating a timely distraction. As guards hurried away from the channeling room to quell the commotion, Illidan saw his chance. With only a few guards remaining, he siphoned the life from the unsuspecting highborn channelers, while also draining their arcane energy in secrecy. As the channelers fell one by one, Illidan signaled the guards to dispose of the bodies. In their approach, he swiftly ended their lives with his deadly claws. Alone now, he meticulously began the delicate process of dismantling the spell binding the demon portal. When the portal's spell imploded, Illidan leapt from the tower, gliding to safety in the courtyard below, just as the tower erupted in a cataclysmic explosion. With the portal's closure, the influx of demons was halted. No sooner had he landed before he faced a formidable terror fiend, a demon he remembered slaying in his past. Recognizing the war glaives of Azinoth, Illidan declared his claim. This time, armed with his newfound might and mastery over the fell, Illidan vanquished Azinoth with ease, reclaiming the familiar war glaives. But his triumph was short-lived as Manoroth, the mighty Annihilan Pit Lord, emerged. In a fierce battle, Illidan found himself momentarily overpowered until the timely arrival of Tyrande, Malfurion, and his younger self. With their combined forces, Tyrande's arrows aglow with Elun's light, Malfurion's roots ensnaring Manoroth's limbs, and the younger Illidan's arcane assaults, they provided Illidan the moment he needed. Soaring into the air, he decapitated the giant flaming head of Manoroth with a single powerful strike from his newly reclaimed warglaves.
It is done, at last.
Malfurion declared, relief in his voice. Illidan, however, remained unconvinced.
The immediate threat is quelled, but our vigilance must endure. The demons must never find passage to our world again. You would destroy the Well of Eternity. It cannot be. No. But as Shara, the bringer of this chaos, must be stopped. She will beckon the demons forth once more if left unchecked.
United in purpose, the group advanced towards the palace to confront Queen Asha-Ra. They swiftly overcame Xavius the Royal Guards and Captain Varothen. Confronting Asha-Ra on her throne, they found themselves facing a sorceress of unparalleled might. Malfurion and Tyrande appealed to her reason, but their pleas fell on deaf ears as she unleashed a barrage of formidable spells. The younger Illidan's arcane assaults and Malfurion's nature magic faltered against her overwhelming power. Even Tyranda's moonlit arrows could not breach Queen Asha-Ra's defenses. It was Illidan, channeling the raw, untamed energy of the Fel, who finally shattered her protective spells. His chaotic power, the antithesis of her arcane magic, overwhelmed Asha-Ra's defenses. With her magical barrier broken, the combined might of the group prevailed, bringing an end to Queen Asha-Ra's reign. Her fall marked the end of her perilous ambition to draw the demons into their world in return for false promises of greater power. Through their victory, Illidan had not only averted the War of the Ancients, but also prevented the catastrophic sundering of the world. In doing so, he preserved countless lives, safeguarded the Night Elf Empire, and kept the world from fracturing under the weight of unchecked power. As the four gazed upon the Well of Eternity, its once fel-tainted waters now returning to their natural state, a startling declaration broke the silence.
Just one more demon to destroy.
Brother, no!
Malfurion called in vain as the younger Illidan unleashed a torrent of arcane spells at his future self.
Betrayer.
The elder Illidan exclaimed, his voice a mix of rage and realization. He dodged the arcane onslaught with agile grace. Driven by a mix of self-loathing for his younger self and a desire to protect Tyranda's future, which he now believed lay with Malfurion, Illidan resolved to eliminate his younger incarnation, knowing the evil that lay in his heart all too well. As he overpowered his past self and raised his warglaves for the final strike, an arrow bathed in moonlight found its mark in his blackened heart.
What have you done?